Nicole just dropped today, and she might be the single biggest support release Genshin has ever put out since Fiorina. I am not exaggerating. This woman gives your entire team an attack buff scaling off her own attack, a pyro shield that scales off her attack, and a damage percent buff on top of all of it. One support, 3 buffs, 0 downside. But here's the catch. Most people are gonna pull her thinking she's just Bennett 2.0, but she's not. And there's one specific reason she's actually better in certain teams. I will show you exactly why. What is up, everyone? It's your boy Gotcha King. Let's break her down. Real quick, this video is sponsored by G Fuel. If you are grinding late night banner sessions or farming artifact resins for hours, G Fuel keeps you locked in. Use code GotchaKing, links in the description, go check it out. Now, constellations. The first question every single person watching this video is asking, is she worth dupes? The short answer, yes. But only up to a point, and here's why. At C0, her entire kit is already complete. The attack buff, the shield, the damage percent buff from Bounty of Nature, all of it works out of the box. She's a finished product at 0 Constellation. But C1, this is where it starts to get spicy. C1 adds an extra coordinated production attack every 6 seconds, hitting for 600% of your active character's attack. That is a flat damage injection, and any team will love it. 12% more total value over C0, nothing crazy, but it's really meaningful. C2 though, this is the breakpoint you actually care about. C2 makes her attack buff hit harder and reduces enemy elemental resistance by 25% for corresponding party member elements. Read that again. 25% resistance shred. That is bigger than Viridescent Vernier. That is bigger than Linny's shred. That is one of the strongest support constellations in the entire game right now. C3 and C5 are standard talent level ups. C4 is a nice quality of life upgrade, but nothing you need to chase. Now, C6. If you are sending it all the way to C6, it's absolutely cracked. Her upgraded buff becomes a permanent to the team, and every party member's damage ignores 40% of the enemy's defense. Defense ignore is one of the rarest buffs in the entire game. This is whale territory, but if you have the wallet, this is broken. But the real question, is it her signature weapon, Crown of the Final Scion, or her C2? Which is the actual better pull? I will give you the exact answer in the build section. Keep watching. For most players though, it's C0. It's generally incredible. For Dolphins, C1, then C2. Do not go past C2 unless you're committing to C6. Alright, her kit. And this is where you finally understand why Nicole is not just another Bennett. I am going to walk through each ability, but pay close attention to her elemental skill. That is the one ability that does literally everything. Normal attack, Allegoria. Standard Catalyst Pyro attacks, you'll basically never use these. Let's move on. Her skill, Revelation, Uncreated Light. This is the entire character. When she casts it, 3 things happen at once. She deals area pyro damage. 2, every nearby party member gets Grace of Kenosis, which boosts their attack based on Nicole's own total attack. And 3, she creates a pyro shield of blazing light scaling off her attack. 1 button, 3 buffs, the shield, the attack boost, and the damage tick, all from skill press. But here's the part everyone is sleeping on. After a short on-field duration, the buff upgrades to Envoy Guidance, a stronger version that hits even harder. And if the active character is a Hexerei member, Durin, Varka, Venti, Klee, any of them, the upgrade is instant. No waiting. I think it was supposed to be Hexerei, but that's not really important. This is the Bennett comparison answer right here. Bennett buffs whoever stands in the circle. Nicole buffs the entire team off-field, gives them a shield, and applies a damage percent buff on top of her artifact set. Nicole travels with you off-field, Bennett does not. That is the key difference. Now, her burst. Revelation Ladder of the Divine Ascent. She enters something called the Silent Contemplation mode. While she is in it, your active character triggers arcane projections, coordinated off-field attacks, dealing damage based on your active character's elemental type. Big important note here. Her burst does not apply pyro aura. She will never accidentally vaporize your hydro reactions, melt your cryo teams. She's element neutral. That is one of the most underrated parts of her entire kit. She slots into cryo melt, hydro, vape, dendro, burning, overload, all of them, without breaking your reaction setup. But the talent that ties it all together is her passives. Her first passive scales her shield strength further with her own attack. Her second passive extends the duration of Envoy Guidance for all Hexerei members. And her exploration passive helps you find regional specialty materials in Sumeru. The key takeaway from all of this, everything in her kit points at one stat: attack. Her attack buff scales off her attack. Her shield scales off her attack. Her bounty of nature damage requires her to stack, stack all of it. Aim for 4,000 attack and stop. I will show exactly how to hit it in the next section. For your talent priority, scale first every single time. This is where 100% of her support value comes from. First, second, normal attack can stay at level 1 forever. Do not waste your bows. We're going to talk artifacts and weapons. If you are still watching, you are about to get the exact build that makes Nicole an absolute monster on your team. Let's start with the artifact set. There is one set, just one. The Bounty of Nature. 4-piece. This set is the only set you should be running unless you literally do not have anything else built. Why? Because it gives her team a damage percent buff equal in size to Scroll of Hero of Cinder City. And even if she's the only Hexerei character on your team, you still get a flat 20% damage buff from 2-piece bonus. Every other set is a downgrade. Every single one of them. I cannot express that enough. If you absolutely cannot get Bounty of Nature, your fallback is a 2-piece Gladiator Finale plus a 2-piece of a Day carved from Rising Winds. Both give 18% attack. That is your stat stick option to max her attack buff. Now for stats. On your sands, you want attack percent. On your goblet, you want attack percent. And on your circlet, if you guessed attack percent, you were correct. Yes, all three. Triple attack percent main stats. Substat, prioritize attack percent. Then energy recharge. Then crit rate. Only if you're running a Favonius Codex. The target is 4,000 attack. That is her entire team-wide attack buff maxes out. Energy recharge between 175 to 200%. That hits her burst every rotation. Now weapons. Here's the moment of truth. Her signature weapon, Crown of the Final Scion, 741 base attack, a 16% attack substat, and a passive that gives your active party member up to 58% damage on top of everything else that she provides. This is the highest ceiling weapon you'll ever have. If you can pull it, pull it. And to answer that question from earlier, signature weapon versus C2, always do the weapon. Then C1, then C2 if you are still going. The weapon alone is roughly equal to C2 in raw output, but it stacks with the constellations, so they're not mutually exclusive. They multiply with each other. Your free-to-play options are Heritage. It's your next best in slot. 4-star easy to refine gives 24% attack. Buff on swaps. Skyward Atlas also works if you have nothing else. Oathsworn's Eye if you happen to grab it from an old event. Now, teams. This is where Nicole goes from good support to absolutely meta shaping unit. First, the obvious one. Varka, Durin, Nicole, Prune. The full Hex and Circle squad. This is the team most people will run, and it's genuinely strong. Varka is an attack scaling main DPS. Durin buffs damage. Nicole shield and buffs. Prune groups enemies and provides animal resistance threat. If you have Varka, this is your end game team. But here is the team most people completely are sleeping on right now. Emilie. Yes, Emilie. Emilie has historically struggled because of her damage is hard to buff off field. Nicole solves that completely. Nicole, Emilie, Furina, Gilonin. Emilie scales off attack. Nicole maxes her attack out. The Bounty of Nature buff gives Emilie a damage percent boost she has literally never had access to before. And because Nicole does not apply Pyro Aura through her burst, Emilie's burning reaction is completely safe. This team is breaking Spiral Abyss right now. The damage numbers are absurd. Another sleeper team would probably be a Cryo Melt team. Ganyu, Rehosli, Nicole, and anyone with Cryo Melt has been outclassed by Freeze because Melt has not stacked enough buffs. Nicole changes that. The off-field attack buff plus Bounty of Nature plus the shield makes her Rehosli Melt actually competitive with the best teams in the game right now. Then your Animo DPS shelf. Wanderer especially, he's needed a shield for the entire existence. Nicole gives it to him. Wanderer, Nicole, Durin, Farzwan. That team is silly. Xiao's burst finally has a buff that lasts the full duration. And he gets a triple buff crowd control machine. Klee gets the off-field support she was missing. And one quick rotation tip. Cast Nicole's skill first to apply the shield, then her burst, then swap to your main DPS immediately. The Hex and Circle instant upgrade only triggers if a Hexerei member is the active character. So your DPS slot determines whether you get instant procs. So honestly, use it. One last thing before I wrap. There is a build for Nicole that completely changes the math on Hu Tao bait teams. I'll save that comparison video for probably another day, but subscribe so you don't miss it. So that is Nicole. 5-star Pyro Catalyst, universal support, best in slot for any attack scaling DPS in the game right now. If you're pulling her today, prioritize her weapon and Constellations 1 and 2. Build her with Bounty of Nature 4-piece, triple attack percent main stat, max her base to 4,000. And remember, she's not Bennett 2.0. She's an off-field team-wide shield providing damage buffing upgrade that Genshin has been missing for years. I'm sorry I'm late for posting this guide. I've been super busy working on some side projects. If this guide helped you out, please don't forget to drop a like, subscribe for Nicole versus Bennett team comparisons. Maybe I'll do that if people are actually interested in the comments. And are you pulling Nicole? I want to know. I'll catch you in the next one. Again, by following this guide, you too can be a Gacha King.